Craig of the Creek is one of the newest Cartoon Network shows, created by Ben Levin and Matt Burnett, who, with quick Google search, have previously worked on Steven Universe and Level Up. Oh boy. I remember watching the premiere of the Level Up movie on Cartoon Network and getting into a fight with my best friend while we were watching it. Simpler times. Other than those major studio credits, Ben Levin has a website with a slew of comics, videos, and other stuff. Apparently, he has a love for ska music and has animated a few videos for some bands, which explains the ska-ish tendencies of the Craig of the Creek theme song. It's an interesting site, and there's years of content on there, so I really recommend checking it out. I'll have a link in the description if you're interested. As far as Matt Burnett, he has a few credits here and there, with one being, yes, it's Kappa, Mikey. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, that went off track. Anyway, let's talk about the actual show. This show premiered a few months back in February and has been pumping out weekly episodes for the most part ever since. Way to stay up to date on the latest trends. Oh, God. The show follows Craig, a 10-year-old who enjoys hanging out at the neighborhood creek with his friends. They get into obvious antics like playing tag, exploring the woods, mysteriously disappearing, burning down a building days later, watching them all suffer. I blinked out. What happened? The stories are very simple and childlike, with a lot of Clarence vibes, although it does seem a bit more high energy. One aspect that really resonated with me about this show is how the kids at the creek are very much focused on imagination, especially one of Craig's best friends in the show, Kelly, who delves into her own imagination, narrating her own thoughts and ideas. When I was younger, I used to live in an area in the country with a few houses by us and not many kids living on the street. I resorted to creating characters and stories in my head, running around my yard and waving sticks everywhere. Imagination was something that I had to have, and I think it's a major reason as to why I love watching and making cartoons. There's a lot of creativity and imagination that goes into it. Although really simple and obvious, for some reason this reminded me of that time in my life, which was definitely filled with a lot of imagination. I don't think this show is perfect by any means, and there are a few things that do turn me off from it. For starters, the art style is very much your standard Cartoon Network style, feeling similar to Weeaboos and Steven Universe. I know this is something that comes with most shows on the channel, but I feel like the outdoorsy and imaginative nature of this show could really use a more extravagant or rough style. It's obviously not bad by any means, but it doesn't really do that much for the kind of stories this show wants to tell. The writing is also pretty standard, with most of the episodes just being okay, but nothing really that unique. I do like how the characters are written, though, with them feeling like actual kids, especially if you compare, say, Craig's brother and Craig himself. They definitely have a lot of differences in the way that they talk and overall how they speak. I guess my main problem with this show is that it just doesn't seem to push itself far enough. I feel like there's a lot more potential for a more interesting show, but it just seems to halt at a standard, mediocre point. The concept could be used in more interesting ways, but it doesn't want to take that extra step from being good to great. I've noticed that there are a decent amount of CN shows that are just okay, but seem to stagnate or decline in quality as time goes on. I know there's most likely a team of executives telling this crew what works and what doesn't, but I feel like there's more effort that could be made to make the show more than it is now. Overall, I enjoy the concepts and ideas presented by the show, but there's a lot that could be done to make it better. I'll definitely keep up with the show as much as possible, but I hope it improves a bit because I know it has that potential to be something great. If anyone working on the show is watching this, which I know you aren't because I'm dead on YouTube, please take these words with the uttermost love and respect for animation. I genuinely like the show, it just needs some work.